All right, so this was supposed to be my one shot, one kill walkthrough at 800 yards. It turned into 1,000 yards, and we pivot, right? So I have very little data on this rifle. I know roughly what it should be, and so for all intents and purposes, I should be relatively close. But I'm going to assume that I've got good data on this rifle, and now I just kind of want to walk myself through my shot, whether this is a human being, whether this is an animal, whether this is a competition. This is the one shot that I have to get set up, and there's no objective option for me to miss this shot, right? I have to make the shot, whether it's for a score, whether for it's a life, or whether it's an animal. So I'm going to just get behind my rifle and walk myself through. So what are my checkpoints? My first checkpoint is, am I behind my rifle? And what I mean behind it, am I squared up behind my rifle properly to where the recoil is going to be square into my high collarbone? It's going to be in a position that isn't going to recoil 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock. It's going to come straight back and up. Ultimately, we want to stay within that 1 MOA bubble of lens movement, right? After the shot. But what I want to do is I just want to get myself in a really good position of natural point of aim is kind of what it comes down to. So my fundamentals are going to be bone support. I want to make sure that I'm in a position where I have good bone support. That's going to be more than one point of contact on the ground. That's going to be bone on bone. That's going to be no muscles holding myself in position. If my foot was up, right, now I have my calf and I've got my hamstring holding my arm into position, right? I need to be able to be flat-footed, square on my rifle. And in theory, I should be able to close my eyes, open my eyes, and I'm still on target and I haven't moved. So what I'll do is I already kind of went through how I set my rifle up. So, or how I set my position up. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get behind it. I'm going to make sure that I'm on target. I'm where I want to be. My rifle is on target, and I'm going to get into my position. I'm going to build myself my position behind my rifle. Now, you can talk about whether my back is rounded, whether this arm should be here, whether it should be here. My comfort level where I feel supported is always going to be hand on tripod locked out, and I have my hand on my knee here. Your mileage may vary. I can tell you that everybody I know shoots with a little differently, and I don't want to say there's no right or wrong, but there really isn't. As long as you have good bone support and you have good natural point of aim. So now I'm behind this rifle, and my target is in the center of my crosshairs where I want to pull the trigger. I'm giving myself about 2 mils of wind, and I'm just going to close my eyes. And I'm opening my eyes, and nothing's moved. Which means when I'm rested behind this and I'm not pulling into myself and I'm not under tension, my natural point of aim is right on target. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to relax. I'm going to take my breaths. I'm going to take up slack on my trigger. And I'm not going to change anything. Impact. And that's my 1,000 yard, one shot, one kill, start to finish.